Today's video is all about retinol and rosacea and answering the question, can you use retinol if you have rosacea? Well, first off, I am not a dermatologist or a medical professional, so I really can't answer that question for you. I can give you my experience as someone who has rosacea and has used retinol successfully. Hopefully hearing my experience will arm you with information that will help your experience. With that said, let's get into it. My skin is combination. It's also sensitive, rosacea prone. It tends to be dehydrated, and when my rosacea flares, it can wreak havoc on my skin barrier, which can actually take weeks and yes, sometimes months to get back under control and back into balance. I recently did a video on Azelaic Acid in my recent Azelaic Acid update, having used that product for 9 months. I mention it here because I truly believe it has made a big difference in my ongoing challenges with rosacea. So I'll link that video at the end of this one, as well as in the description box below, as well as all the products and everything I'm talking about today you'll find in the description box as well. When I first started using retinol, I was terrified. First off, I had heard all of the horror stories of the side effects, and if you don't know what those are, they tend to be redness, dryness, and irritation. Thanks. I get enough of that with my rosacea alone. I don't need to be using a product that will add that on top of what I already experience. But I'm 48 years old, so of course I want to tackle the signs of aging, and retinol being a derivative of vitamin A that is clinically proven to target and reverse the signs of aging, was something obviously I wanted to have in my routine. Retinol can target your wrinkles because it helps to fight free radical damage in the skin. It helps to boost collagen production in the skin. It actually increases the exfoliation process of the skin, increasing that skin cell turnover, and through that exfoliation process can help target acne, will reduce the visible signs of age spots and dark spots on your skin. And when exfoliation takes away those dead skin cells, it can just overall give you a smoother, brighter, more radiant, and more even appearance. So who doesn't want all that? Also note, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, it is not recommended that you use retinol, so definitely be in consultation with a medical professional when you're talking about your skincare needs. And of course, if you have really sensitive skin, retinol may not be an option for you. In my opinion, if you are in an active rosacea flare, you shouldn't be using retinol either. And that's because your skin barrier is already compromised, so using something that could have that propensity to cause even more irritation is just not something I would recommend. So for me, beginning my retinol journey, all of my trepidations were valid. I'm used to having an impaired skin barrier. I'm used to having rosacea flares. So I was worried about how to introduce it with good reason. The first thing I did wrong was start with a retinol that was too high of a strength for my skin as a beginner. It's important to know that all retinol is not equal, making it difficult as a consumer to determine which is the right retinol product for you. I'm going to give you 3 recommendations today of various strengths, so depending on where you are in your retinol journey, if you have really sensitive skin or really tolerable skin, there's something for you. So when I first started using retinol, I tried Avene's Physiolift, which is actually a retinal, not a retinol. And I've already done a video explaining the differences between retinol, retinaldehyde, tretinoin, and all of those. Again, we'll link it in the description box below as a full tutorial on what all these different things mean. Anyway, wrong move to start with a high strength product early on in my retinol journey. It immediately irritated my skin and I had to scale back, learn more about retinol before I tried again. I also think it's really important when you're putting together a skincare routine and trying to target all of the different things that you want to target your primary skin concern. Let's face it, most of us have more than one. For me, aging, rosacea, depleting hydration levels in my skin, loss of elasticity. I mean, the list can go on and on. If I were to treat all of those things with all kinds of different products, I'd have a 35-step skincare routine. Tackling my primary skin issue, which is rosacea, was my key to starting to use retinol successfully. Once my skin barrier was more reliably in balance, I could turn to other skincare products that target the signs of aging, including retinol. If you've never used retinol retinol before, it's best to start out with a lower concentration. And I'll give you what my opinion is on low, mid, and high strength retinol. I consider a low strength retinol to be in the range of 0.01 to 0.03% of retinol in the formulation. A middle strength would be around 0.05, 0.1, and a high strength at that 1% level. There are many products that will give you the percentage of retinol, but some of them actually don't. And in some cases, you can reach out to the brand themselves and they'll disclose it to you. It's just not written on the package, but in some cases, they see it as proprietary and they won't share that with you, adding another layer of complexity of trying to figure out which retinol to choose. But it's also important to note, despite the different strengths, the retinol is doing what it needs to do in your skin. So even if you were to stay at a 0.05% retinol your entire life, your skin will be still gaining the benefit, especially if that's the level that your skin tolerates best. Meaning more than that, you would have more irritation and your skin can't tolerate it, or less than that and you're not seeing the benefits. So it's all about finding that sweet spot. With retinol, more is not necessarily more. I truly believe that slow and steady wins the race when it comes to using retinol, and especially for those of us with rosacea. So as a rule, if the concentration irritates your skin, scale back to a smaller percentage and also consider scaling back the number of times per week you're using it. For me, I started using retinol once a week. And once I could see that my skin tolerated it at that level, then I increased it to twice a week and then 3 times a week. I can use it up to 4 times a week, but I actually like to incorporate other routines in my weekly skincare routine. And those routines are either very basic or focus on other well-aging ingredients like peptides or just hydrating serums to kind of give my skin a break from the retinol. I use retinol in my evening skincare routine, and I always use a sunscreen in my morning skincare routine because retinol is increasing that skin cell turnover. Your skin could be more photosensitive. I double cleanse my skin. I like to use toners, so I tone my skin, use any hydrating serums I might have in my routine, then my retinol, then my moisturizer and face oil. And if you have really sensitive or rosacea prone skin, you might consider the sandwich method of retinol application. In this method, you're basically sandwiching the retinol between 2 buffering layers of moisturizer. So in the routine I just talked about, I would double cleanse, tone, hydrating serum, moisturizer, retinol serum, and then another layer of moisturizer. This is a great way to sort of offset those irritating side effects that retinol has the propensity to do to our skin. If over time you're seeing really good results and maybe feel like you've hit a plateau and want to try a higher strength retinol, then I suggest what I did and what made it successful was to move to a higher strength but bring it back to once a week just to be sure your skin can tolerate that strength, and then increase to twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Retinol can be used daily if you prefer. Like I said, I just like to prioritize other things in my skincare routine as well. And the other key thing for success with retinol is to ensure that you know the amount to apply to your face. This is not a case of applying a nice thick mask of retinol to reap all the benefits of the ingredient. A pea-sized amount is all you need. I actually like to dot it around my face and then connect the dots. An even application is really necessary because if you apply it really thick in one area, especially for me on my cheeks, that could cause my rosacea to flare because it's getting too much of that ingredient in that one area. A low strength retinol that's great to start out with, or if you're a seasoned retinol user and perhaps you use a really high strength retinol a couple of times a week, but you want to offset your other days maybe with a lower strength retinol, can also be a really good strategy for your well-aging skincare routines. This is by Versed. It's their Press Restart Gentle Retinol Serum, and it's at a 0.03% retinol in this formulation. It also has antioxidant support, hydrating and soothing ingredients like glycerin and aloe in this formulation, and also bakuchiol. Bakuchiol is known as the natural alternative to retinol, so pairing it together with this retinol serum I think is a great way to get really good well-aging benefits in the product. It's been fabulous for my skin. At the time of filming, it's $27.99 for a 30 ml size. A mid-range strength A mid-range strength retinol is this one by Strati. It's their night shift serum. This is an encapsulated retinol at 0.15%. Encapsulated means that the retinol is encased in a lipid sphere, I think is what they call it, but just allows for a slow release of retinol into your skin, in my case, while I sleep, which also helps to sort of even out its application and lessen the propensity for irritation. This is beautifully supported in a formulation with panthenol, ceramides, and one of my favorite soothing ingredients for the skin, which is Centella asiatica. And this one's $29 for 50 mils. Finally, if you get to this stage, Paula's Choice has a great 1% retinol serum, and it's also formulated with peptides and vitamin C, making it a great all-in-one serum in my opinion. It also has a slow release system, making a more even and controlled absorption into the skin. And this high-strength retinol is supported with licorice and oat extracts, which also help to support, soothe, and calm redness in the skin. And it's $64 for 30 mils. I hope this video helps you to navigate rosacea with retinol. I think I'm a great example of someone who's been able to incorporate it using these sort of best practices in application and choosing the right products for my skin at the right time to have a successful outcome. I don't know what I'd look like without having started using retinol. That's hard to predict, but I do really think that the look of my fine lines and wrinkles are diminished. I started using retinol when I was in my early 40s. I wish I would have started using it earlier than that, but I do think it's never too late to start incorporating into your skincare routines if you want to see these types of benefits. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this video, your comments, and your own experiences in the comments section below. Thanks as always for watching. If you haven't watched these videos, be sure to watch them next, and I hope you have a fabulous day.